On arrival at school one recent morning, I was met by Bongile hugging a book. He waved it in my face, shouting, "I finished it last night. Can I have another?" He followed me to the library, recounting the scary tale of a plane about to crash. A few years ago, one of my favorites was Ryan, a little boy from the Congo. He came every day, fascinated by the contents of books. Only in grade 2, he was the first child in the school to reach a total of 200 books on the computer system. Then there's Nazira. Nazira changes her future career depending on the book she's reading. We've been through archaeology, medicine, something with horses, and this week it's fashion design. Nazira's going far. It's stories like these, and many others, that get me up in the morning. For 4 days a week, for 6 years, these and numerous other stories have saved me from taking happy pills and getting a dog. The US comedian Harpo Marx said, "Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read." I'm the book person. I work as a volunteer librarian at an under-resourced government primary school in the suburbs of Cape Town. In 2010, having left the world of work to spend more time with my sick husband, I spotted a sign in a car window for an NGO called Help to Read and decided it was time to pass on my lifelong love of reading. Help to Read posted me to a nearby school, and I wondered why we were reading in a purpose-built library, which appeared not to be used very much. It turned out that after 1994, government schools lost their librarian posts because of too many demands on the state. The library had no librarian, the school could not afford one, and it was underused and unloved. Classes visited infrequently, and the earlier grades were excluded altogether. Not long after, sadly, my husband died, and I needed something to do with fixed times and lots of people. The library seemed to provide the answer. I needed it, and it needed me. Many children in South Africa have no books in the home and live far from a public library. Fewer than 40% of government schools have any kind of library, and even fewer have librarians and decent books. In 2016, an international study found that 78% of grade 4s could not read for understanding. The figure by comparison for the US is 4%, and for Iran, with a similar GDP to South Africa, it's 35%. Initially, I opened the library a few hours a week, until in 2012, in a meeting with the headmaster, it turned out that many of the children came to school on transport from the townships before 7 a.m. He asked whether I would be prepared to open the library before classes began at 7:40. I agreed to try, but was not sure whether anybody would want to turn up. On day 1, 50 arrived. I decided I had to do this. My next priority was to increase the stock. We had books, but they were old and dated. Human brains love novelty. Brain chemicals, such as dopamine, which are vital for learning, are stimulated by new things. That's why you're all here. My children are no different. Because of severe financial constraints, my school has no official library budget. Fundraising terrifies me. I'd rather cover books. In fact, I have covered 3,000 books. I began trawling second-hand books. bookshops, it's become an addiction. Word got around. Friends and acquaintances dropped packets of books over the wall. NGOs contributed some. The problem with donated books is that often they're not entirely suitable. I became more particular. There's no point in processing a book if nobody's going to read it. I found particular books that I wanted on Amazon US and UK and arranged for them to be posted to friends about to visit South Africa. I would be doubly pleased to see them if they arrived bearing 6 precious books. Yeah. And then I wondered whether Couchsurfers could help. In 2014, I had joined Couchsurfing.com and was hosting people from all over the world. Couchsurfing is about staying or hosting in homes with no money changing hands. The objective is more than a free bed. It's staying with a local and making international friends. Couchsurfers invariably donate something. Perhaps I could get them to bring books instead of souvenirs and liquor. Or perhaps when they arrived in Cape Town, they could buy a new book, which we could ill afford. Some couchsurfers immediately caught on. Veronica, a crazy Cuban from Miami, who was traveling around Africa with one outfit for a year, was more than happy to contribute a much-needed computer coding book. Rita, Linda, Lorraine, Jukka from Helsinki, Richard, Krista, all contributed. What do children like to read? This is a typical selection donated by a couchsurfer. They love books about dogs, but never cats. Why? Kids' cookbooks, equally popular with boys and girls. Who knew? Children who have never been to Table Mountain devour Paris, China, and ancient Egypt. They take home dinosaurs, space, inventions, biographies, legends. One girl reads about the Holocaust because it makes her life seem less hard. I hug my favorite books. They copy me. The word love is used a lot, as in, oh, ma'am, I'm in love with this book. Above all, they want new books. Sometimes I recover an old book and put in a new date label, and they're thrilled. It's new, and off they go. We entered a literary quiz. The team read 15 books, excelled at the answers, and won new books. They're walking off with their prizes. Reader heaven. There's intense interest in being listed in the various reading clubs from 100 to 500. Top readers get scholarships to good high schools. And the library has become a haven for those who are new or need a quiet space or a sympathetic listener. What is my message to you? For the country to progress, people have to be able to read and have to understand what they read. What can we do about it? Let me remind you of this depressing statistic. I'm saying to you, ordinary individuals can make a difference. If this experience has been so rewarding for me, surely other people would like to have it as well. You could volunteer or could persuade someone else to volunteer. One book could be the spark that ignites the love of reading in a child. You could be the one who gave the book. Thank you.